Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at a brand new Second Sight 4K limited edition release, and it is 1986's The Name of the Rose. So this is directed by Jean-Jacques, who also did the fairly decent Enemy at the Gates. So this is a historical mystery film, clocking in at 131 minutes long, had a budget of $17.5 million, but went on to make $77.2 million at the box office, becoming one of the lead actors of most biggest films in the last few years, and that lead actor is, of course, Sean Connery. I've seen him in 41 other films, so since he's already obviously had a large body of work, I'm only going to go through my favourites from him from the same decade as this film. So the likes of Highlander, The Presidio, Outland, which we obviously talked about last year on 4K via our video, as well as The Untouchables and Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, which is, for my money, the best of the series. We've also got Christian Slater, who's in a couple of solid action films from the 90s, like Broken Arrow and Hard Rain, but my favourite from him would be the likes of True Romance. Then you got Elia Baskin, he was in the likes of Deep Star 6, which we looked at earlier this year, also on 4K, but he was also in the highly underrated 2010 The Year We Make Contact, Spider-Man 2 and Air Force One. We've also got Michael Lonsdale, who was in The Day of the Jackal, Mr. Klein, another James Bond connection, as he was also in Moonraker as the baddie, and Ronin. And in supporting roles, you've got the likes of William Hickey, Ron Perlman, and F. Murray Abraham. So, 14th century Franciscan monk William of Baskerville and his young novice arrive at a conference to find that several monks have been murdered under mysterious circumstances. To solve the crimes, William must rise up against the church's authority and fight the shadowy conspiracy of monastery monks using only his intelligence, which is considerable. So, when I first saw this, I enjoyed it far more than I expected, as I saw its length, setting, and plot synopsis, which for some reason conjured up a slow and uninteresting effort. But this isn't like that at all, and with this rewatch, it has become no less engaging. Its length isn't an issue one bit, as it is well paced and fills that length with an engrossing plot. The 14th century setting helps in a medieval abbey is not only used well, but helps set it apart from other similar films. I also like the fact that it's mostly set during winter, so there's a lot of snow around, which also helps aid in solving this mystery. Um, and its premise, or somewhat familiar, does enough different to keep things interesting. The cast is also excellent, with the chemistry between Connery and Slater being particularly surprising, but thoroughly enjoyable. It's mainly surprising because there's such a large age gap. I think Slater was only about 16 or 17 when doing this film, whereas Connery was well into his 40s. I think it's actually in his 50s by this point. So, yeah, such a large age gap, but the such good actors that they're able to bridge that gap regardless. The production is also well done. You can definitely see that it cost as much as it did. It is nicely shot. The score by James Horner is great. It doesn't really hold back on its violence. Has some unexpected comedy to it, although it doesn't feel out of place, as it's not, ha ha ha, look at this thing. It's just these kind of like sardonic wit that Connery usually brings to his roles. And though I'm not religious, I did find the script to be well balanced between its religious speak, the mystery element, and its leading characters. So, yeah, for my money, this is one of the best films from Connery from the 80s and one of the best from his filmography in general, and gets a 4.5 out of 5. So I'm really, really pleased that this has been given this kind of limited edition release from Second Sight. Now, granted, they are not a company that I just buy everything from, for two reasons why. One, they are quite sizable at times. This is the smallest of one of their releases, as you can see from the thickness of the hard box, but generally they are quite big, and that means therefore they take up a lot of room, and therefore that's not room that I have available anyway. So that's one reason. And then the second reason is these can be quite expensive. I believe this was £49.99, which is obviously not the most expensive release from boutique Blu-ray labels or 4K labels, but it still is at the end of the day quite a lot. And if you spread that over several releases over a year, then yeah, it can add up to quite a substantial amount of money. So yeah, this unfortunately therefore is the first release from them that I've looked at in 2026, but it was well worth waiting for this particular film, because like I said, it is one of my favourites, and therefore I snatched it up as soon as I saw that they were going to release it. So yeah, I really like this new artwork that they've got going on for this release, which has been done by Liza Shumskaya. And yeah, looks absolutely superb. And that carries on onto the reverse. I'm actually showing you already the side there. And then we get new artwork for the two discs that are in this release as well. So we've got the 4K disc and then the Blu-ray disc, which has the film and the special extras as well. So that's the artwork carrying on there, which is like a reinterpretation of a shot from the film. And those are the discs themselves. So yes, this is rated an 18, mainly due to the nudity that is in it in one scene, but there is, like I said, some violence throughout as well. We also get a hefty booklet with this release, which is 120 pages long, which again has new artwork on it, which again I like the look of. And inside the booklet, you got your cast and crew. Then you got the name and world of Umberto Eco, which he's the author of the book that this film is based on, and that is by Eugenio Ercolani and Gian Giacomo Petroni. Then you got Elementary, My Dear Adso, William of Baskerville and Sherlock Holmes, The Essence of Interpretation in the Name of the Rose by Nadine Whitney. So there is definitely a kind of a Sherlock Holmes vibe to this film. He even says, like it says on this title, it's elementary, and that obviously is Sherlock Holmes, one of his famous lines. And yeah, it does kind of feel like a Sherlock Holmes and Watson kind of plot synopsis to this as well, although obviously they were never monks. And yeah, you got Dogmatic for the People, Philosophical Salvation in the Name of the Rose by Gregory Mucci, How a Literary Mystery Finds Grace in Silence by Sam Moore, Another Time, Another Place by Don Schnindel. Or then you got The Art of Observing the World, The Relationship Between Umberto Eco and Cinema by Francesco Massasesi, The Framing the Rose from Page to Film by Eugenio Ercolani and Gian Giacomo Petroni. So they've done a couple of extras in this release, and then acknowledgements and production credits, as well as shots from the film throughout as well. And there is the legend that is Sean Connery. So yeah, I don't think it speaks about the restoration in this release, but nonetheless, we do have some art cards with this release as well, which has some of the artwork that we've already looked at. It's nice to have them in art card form as well. And then we have a few shots from the film as well. So there is Michael Lonsdale. There is Ron Perlman, who plays a hunchback, and really good makeup effect on him, by the way. And there's F. Murray Abraham as an Inquisitor. And in terms of special features, the film is presented in Ultra HD, presented in HDR with Dolby Vision. And you got new audio commentary by James Marsh, audio commentary with the director, Charm of Humanity, a new interview with the director as well, A Boy and His Dog, a new interview with actor Christian Slater, Bringing the Mustard, a new interview with actor Ron Perlman, Liquidating the Disc, a new interview with writer Andrew Birkin, and then The Abbey of Crime, Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose. And yeah, the film is in 2160p, aspect ratio 185:1, and you've got DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 as well. And on top of that, you've also got optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. So yeah, and the Ultra HD is obviously region 3, and the Blu-ray disc is region B only. So yeah, fantastic film, easily one of my favourites, like I said, from Sean Connery, but also from several other cast members, and in particular one of my favourite films from the 1980s. So yeah, highly recommend seeing this if you haven't already, and if you have, you know, enjoyed this film in the past, then I will highly recommend this release from Second Sight, as per usual, when it comes to the physical representation of the film with all these extras, top marks again, and in terms of the Ultra HD disc as well, also top marks from them as well. So yeah, I know Second Sight are expensive, but I do feel like they are well worth the money when it, particularly when it comes down to a film that you have enjoyed in the past and you just want to own it. I think they are ultimately worth it. But nonetheless, if you have seen The Name of the Rose before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.